Davengers. West Coast Davengers.
There's only one mantra that you all need to know. That's that one over there. See Todd, bye Todd.
See Todd by Todd. See Todd by Todd. Hello, I'm Dave, the West Coast Avenger. I'm here. I'm better than Avengers. Doomsday coming out next year. Who gives a fuck? I'm here. You're here. Let's have some fun. That was a very bad white boy rap. Or something. Good evening, everybody. It's a Wednesday of Chat and Chill. We're just going to hang out for a little bit tonight. There will be a West Coast Wednesday sale on Friday, this Friday. Friday. Why? Well, we'll get to that. I had an operation. I had my brain replaced with a wheel of cheese. Not really, not at all. Let's say hello to the couple of people here. Apparently, Hooch is like, I'm unsure of anything. Because, are you ready? Tyler Davis, Tyler Pope of the Davengerinos is in the house. Hello there, Tyler. I'm gonna, let's see if I can get this light to where it's not reflecting on my glasses. Whatever. Yes, Friday, yes. You change your name to that, please. I mean, look, it's about being respectful in terms of not being an asshole. I'm the only one allowed to be an asshole around here. It's my show. How about that? That's better. That's better. Derek Neiman, who I would be convinced is actually 14 different AIs converging because he's in every chat room, but I have his phone number, so I know it's not an AI. Bro, we don't use that word around here. 3 letters we don't use together. Princess can't change his name to a symbol. I can change my name to 69. All right, well, there it is. So let it be written. I'm a couple of people. Yes, you are. You're Josh, and then the letter E and Pooh. Manpower to the power stream, and then West Coast Dave. What up, Connor? Good evening. Yeah, so right, Friday I'm going to be doing a sale. I just had a long weekend. I went to a couple of concerts. I was in Portland this weekend, and I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like running to prep a sale with a couple of days notice. So I'm going to preview some of the books that you're going to see this Friday. Nothing's priced yet. So you can't ask me price because there's no prices. Plus, I'm going to be giving out a free copy later on in the show of the second printing of Wolverine Legacy number 400 with the Daniel Warren Johnson cover. So there, let's do this one. Yeah, I like this one the best. Yes, please hit the like button. For some reason you're not subscribed. Well, fucking do it. Who'd I see? I'll give you one hint. Brand new. Little taste. Yeah, you'll get a taste. You'll get a taste. Don't worry. There'll be a taste. I'm still in the process of pulling out books. I got a collection yesterday, which it was like a stack of comics, but if you saw my post on Instagram, you saw the 2 big books. One of them is actually going to be for sale tomorrow. That would be this. Conan, number 1. What up, Sam? Sam McClurg in the house. So that'll definitely be going out. I have not priced the thing. So I can't tell you prices. But before we even start that, let's give a shout out to Shawn Crystal, Ink Pulp, Mr. Ink Pulp, friend of the channel, friend of the me. His Kickstarter is now officially live for the art of Shawn Crystal. He hit the goal, but he smashed the goal in 3 to 15 days. There's a lot of days to go, and there's a bunch of stretch goals. So I can honestly say you really should check this out. Shawn's art in person is amazing, and it's going to translate real well to this book. I'll put that link right here so you guys can click on it. But you could also just search Shawn Crystal Kickstarter Ink Pulp, and you'll find it. I didn't back it at the retailer level just because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to sell 10 copies of this. I don't know if this is for everybody in the audience, whereas, you know, Mahfoud's Savage Street Vigilante being a comic is. But I still want y'all to back it because Shawn's fucking awesome. So let's go there. Let's get back to that there. All right. Derek lives lives deep in the dark web. He's here. He's there. He's staring at your window now. Jesus Christ, he is. He is there. So what else? What else is going on? The Stan Sakai interview. I hope everybody got a chance to watch it. If you haven't, you're really disappointing Papa Dave. It's, you know, it's something that Chris Pierce had told me. Get my hands out of my pants. I'm not wearing any. Something Chris Pierce had told me, aka Mr. Comic Tropes. Yes, that guy. That interviews don't do well, especially when you use the word interview, and they don't do well on channels that aren't interview channels. And, you know, I'm so happy that the core audience of the Davengerinos loved and watched the Sakai interview. If you haven't, and if you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't put a comment there, please do. But 700 views, that's 10% of my channel, versus the video from a couple weeks ago with the garage sale, which got, you know, 6,000 and counting. I don't get it, but honestly, it's why I'm moving everything to direct edition, because it's an interview channel for the most part. Yes, thank you. Stand on Stand Action was not expected. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting part of his career. And, you know, I'd known about it, but I didn't know how deep his relationship with Stan Lee went. And it was good to hear that. I mean, I didn't even get, you know, there's going to be the bonus episode on direct edition, which is about 20 minutes. I talk about fanzines. I talk about a couple of different things, but I you know, I could interview, I could interview Stan Sakai for hours. You know, Josh, that's not a bad idea. What's up, Jim? Yes. Yeah, and you know, like his contributions to indie books, his contributions to lettering, his contributions to you know, what he was talking, well, actually you didn't see that part, but you know, even in some mentoring and stuff like that. And just his contribution to overall the fact that, like, it just goes to show if you can create something unique and you can own it, like, that's it. That's all you need to do is as a cartoonist, is like create something interesting and unique and make sure that it's yours. We need more swap meet pickups. Not really, because, like, as much as I love that, I aim to I aim to do more with my life than just, you know, go buy comics. Like, I don't want to go off on a rant right now, but I understand that most people give a shit about what something's worth, and that and like the idea that I could find something that's worth so much money. I get it. Like, it's what we all want in life. We all want to win, right? Whatever it is we're doing, but fuck, it's like I aim to add more to comic books than just me finding really cool books. I aim to add history and get people to talk about history and their creations. I'm not an artist, and I never wanted to be. I never wanted to create comics. I was a fan, and that's why I bring stuff from a fan's perspective, because we can all relate to that. And that's what I pitch the podcast as. So, you know, I have the season 4 premiere of Direct Edition with you can subscribe to it in the link below. My season 4, I'm recording it Monday. It's going to drop June 23rd. It's not as much of a break as I wanted. And then the bonus Stan Sakai interview is either going to drop on June 30th or the first Monday in July. Excited. I can tell you, I think Chris has also talked about this. He tends to do one vid for himself and one vid for the algorithm and so on. Yeah, and I do that too. I mean, you guys are going to see 2, 3, 4 collection videos and a couple of top 10. I recorded a top 10 Spawn McFarlane covers and a top 10 Capullo Spawn covers video that'll come down the line. Jamie Wood in the house, all the way from Scotland. I won't do you dirty. Um, Marco's in the house. Oh, thank you, thank you. I hope you all are doing chingon. Bueno. What's up with the Wolverine comic? I'm going to be giving it out at some point tonight. Second printing, Danny Warren Johnson cover, Danny Warren Johnson backup. Hit stands today. I bought a couple of copies and I wanted to give one away. There are some I can like and I think I've said this to you, Jamie, before. If I'm in Scotland and I can be around people speaking in a Scottish accent, I can. There's some words, but I don't ever try it. I don't ever try it. Only with my friends. My first guest of the second season or the fourth season of Direct Edition is going to be Alice Darrow. Alice has got a new comic coming out called Tramps of the Apocalypse from Dark Horse. You might recognize her last name. Jeff Darrow is her father. She's been working in animation for a bunch of years. And, being around somebody like that as your dad, you get the comic bug. And I have read the first issue, and the first issue is absolutely fucking hilarious. It's a 3-issue mini coming from Dark Horse. And I'm excited to talk to her. We've been talking on Instagram probably for like a year now, or give or take. And yeah, she's got a great sense of humor, and it's a great comic. I heard about it. I'll wait until it comes out. Getting excited about video games is a losing fucking cause, man, because I've been excited about the next GTA game since 15 years ago, and it's only coming out next year. So I get excited when the thing is there. Yes, she is. Oh, thanks, Paul. I saw them open the tour in Seattle on Friday and then went to Portland, see them on Saturday, and it's been 7 years since I've seen them. One of my favorite bands. Fun fact, if you get your crayons and color in the trade dress and use the whiteout to update the indicia, it becomes a DWJ Wolverine 8 first print. What up, Kem? So yeah, and then I'm about to confirm I'm going to have Zdarsky back on. I have not gotten the final confirmation on that, so that'll be good. But I'm trying to reach out to musicians and actors and try to get on the press junket for Fantastic Four First Steps. Come on, me interviewing Pedro Pascal would be amazing. Amazing. He's so far better looking than me. So yeah, so that's what's going on. But yeah, coming down the pipeline for this channel on videos, I've got a I totally forgot about that, Tyler. Oh well. So yeah, I've got a massive collection video coming that's at right now. It's at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I still have about 40 minutes of footage. So I'm going to split that in 2. And then I've got the collection, the little pickup that I got yesterday. That video's done. I recorded it and edited it. I got the top 10 Capullo Spawn covers, top 10 McFarlane Spawn covers, and I feel like I might have recorded something else. But, I'm just trying to do what I love, and it just sucks sometimes when you put all this effort into research and stuff. And Jamie, I wonder if you have any insight, because you do only podcasts. So you're either doing, something that Mateo and Shawn are doing, or with a guest, or Jim. Well, the live streams doesn't count because that doesn't really, like, you can do back end work for people to see that, but live streams really rely on the live stream, and it's just mixing interviews with non-interviews seems to be an algorithm's worst nightmare. Unless you've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, then I could literally put a video of me like shitting, reading Turok, and it would get tons of views. I think Mr. Beast might have actually proved something like that. Yeah, I didn't. I totally forgot about it. Chip and Adrian. That would be ridiculous. The Sakai interview was fantastic. Upcoming Spawn video, can't wait. Your McFarlane cover video is no BS, life change. Well, look, I mean, and it's weird because what I would really love to do, there are certain artists. I mean, I did the Bernie covers, and that video didn't do too well. I would do a Jim Lee one. I'm sure that would do well. I thought about doing a Liefeld one, but I'm starting to really dislike Rob Liefeld as a person these days, and I don't know if I want to give him any more shine on the algorithm. You know, I could do a Kirby one, but I don't own some of the greatest covers of his. I did do 2 zines based on Jack Kirby with Andrew, so you know. How much to hire a bot farm, dude? But that's the problem, dude. When you boost a YouTube video, if it's not bots, it farms people from other countries that don't engage, and that's through YouTube. They don't engage with the video, and so sure, it looks good with the numbers, but it doesn't really boost anything in the channel. The YouTube hates straying from your niche, but consistency outside of promotion, bringing views can help, but it's a slog. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's, I mean, the point of having guests on is a twofold thing, right? A guest promotes whatever, you know, like they asked me, Sakai's people asked if it was okay to mention the YouTube, the eBay live, and then the new book coming out. And I said, of course, that's what I want to, you know, and I told them I'm going to make sure that everything's done the right way. And then when he posts about it, when we did the collaborative posts, that puts people in, you know, eyes on my stuff. And with the podcast, it's the same thing. You know, that's why I do collaborative reels. Because like, so for example, if you guys didn't see, the season finale of Direct Edition had Dave Correa, aka the other Davenger, obviously a good friend, but also one of my favorite artists. And because Dave's talking about his art and I'm asking him about all this stuff and we're talking about the conventions he's doing and the sculpting and all this stuff, like Dave's fan base needs to see that. So I do the collaborative reel, and that puts Dave's fan base in. The same thing with Alex Pardee, and the same thing with, you know, Rob Sheridan. I mean, Rob Sheridan went above and beyond for the Direct Edition episode. He put the interview in his newsletter. So he actively said to his fan base, like, hey, I did this career spanning interview, come watch it. And like right now, Erwin Pop in the house, big shout out to you and congrats on Sewer Boys 2 and all of the success from that Kickstarter. Yes, he is the man, the myth, and the legend. Rob could be very hard to like sometimes. Whenever I remember his tribute to Ed, that is exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. He is he's the Joe Rogan of comics, except without like that kind of success. But yeah, Rob Sheridan, you know, put it to his audience. And the whole thing is eventually I will monetize the podcast with membership stuff and, you know, maybe ads, but definitely want to do like a membership thing because I am spending all of my money on this, or I'm spending my money on this. And the thing is like, I just want to have great conversations. To me, having these people guests is enough personally. Like I had these conversations and get to share them. That's the bonus. But helping them grow even if it's just one person that grows into a Rob Sheridan fan, or one person that visits Dave at Oddities and Curiosities and buys a piece from him, or, you know, supports him in some way, or, you know, with Scheme, you know, I love having Scheme on. If somebody buys a mixtape from him, or just, you know, like shares the word of the stuff he does. I mean, that's all I really want to do. I'm not getting kickbacks from anybody. Yeah, I mean, Rob, the thing is with Rob, he says a lot of shit to be a controversial idiot, and his enthusiasm for comics is amazing. And he's like a true ambassador for comics, but he's mean to people. And it makes no sense to me. Like I've seen people say stuff in comments and he has been really mean to them. And it's like, dude, you're supposed to be one of the good guys. Like you're one of the last people that still has a very successful career from a time where like the comics industry went. He's very personable, like opposite of Jim Lee, but he's like a dick. And I look at Todd, and Todd's the opposite. And Larson is just honest. I've never actually heard Eric Larson say anything that I'd be like, oh, he's a dick. I'm like, yeah, he's got his opinion and he's honest. Valentino's great. Silvestri's pretty much not in the public eye. And Portasio Wills is great, but he's not really in the public eye either. Yeah, he wrote the forward for Switchblade too, because like he really was a champion of Ed, and I love that. I just don't understand the point of kind of like, it's almost like, I don't know if he does it on purpose. And I really wanted to interview him, and I still would like to, but it's just like, man, it's just something about it rubs me the wrong way sometimes, where if you weren't this way, I think a lot of people would be like still like talking about you in a positive way. Larson comes off worse than he actually is because of his delivery. Yeah, exactly. He's just flat and honest. But the thing is, like, you know, after 2 interviews with him, he's got a great sense of humor, and I really love Larson's sense of humor, especially when he puts it in the books. Yeah, exactly. And after Ed passed, like, it was one of the most beautiful tributes I'd ever heard anybody give about anybody. And so it's like, I've tried a couple times to get him on. He's never said no, but he's never said yes. So, well, also, yeah, Tyler, you've got a very flat delivery, but I mean, we've talked, and I know you're actually a good person and not mean. I, on the other hand, have sometimes no chill, or am I Joe Chill? I don't know. Let's give away the Wolverine. Everybody, hashtag DWJ in honor of the savior of comics. Hashtag DWJ, and I'll ship this to you, no cost. Speaking of stuff that people won, Derek, did you get a chance to read High Level yet? Which is a shame that it was canceled after, well, Vertigo disappeared after 6. And whenever Dan announces his next project, I'll definitely have him back on. I'll see him in a couple weeks at Heroes, and you know, I know he's always open to coming on and having a great chat. Okay, Derek. Yeah, my reading pile I got pretty deep into it over the last week and got some stuff down. I just read the Batman Dylan Dog graphic novel, and I'd heard about it, but Chris Piers recommended that I buy it last time we were hanging out. I liked the art better than the story. It was really interesting, beautiful art. I thought the story was a little all over the place and had some of the worst dialogue I've ever read in a comic book. But the art was well worth the price of reading it. Hashtag DWJ. I'll ship this Wolverine 400 second print. It's got the DWJ backup. It's awesome. And it's got this cover. I will be bringing at least probably 2 copies of this to Heroes to get signed by Dan. Wait, story from Marvel recently that Wolverine killed. I don't know. I did not know anything about that, Tyler, at all. All right, Jamie, appreciate you, my brother. Nope, that sounded more like Irish, and it sounded like fucking Desmond from Lost. I'll see you in the next life, brother. Oh, God. So yeah, I question for the friends of Davengerinos in the chat while we gather some more DWJs. Who would you like to see me interview in comics that you think has a good personality that would work with mine? Oh, thanks, Kasser. Yeah, I've had him for a couple weeks. I always wanted to go clear frames, and I just did it. C+ now. Something about he was being mind controlled or something. Yeah, I'm not. I had a discussion with my LCS owner Damien today. Stargazer Comics, shout out. I haven't enjoyed being a Marvel reader in a long time, on the long term, honestly. Every story revolving around Spider-Man's parents is the dumbest shit. Yeah, like clones and spies, all that shit. Jorge Corona. You know, I like Jorge. I think Jorge's got a great personality when he was on Trash Movie Bonanza with Chris and Jim. So yeah, I'd be into that. Steve Root. I know you were going to say that, Sam. There we go. Kasra, if you could connect that for me, I would be appreciative because I would love to talk to Uncle Walt. Kelly Thompson, is that Kelly Thompson that's doing Absolute Wonder Woman? Or is that a different Kelly Thompson? Because that's a kind of common name. Communist Red Skull and Wolverine kill Pete's parents. I'll pass on the Clayton Crane, Mark, only because I'm not a fan. I asked him. I asked him this year. I'll ask him again at Heroes. All right, let's do the giveaway, and I'll get back to the chat with that. Hashtag DWJ. Let me share the screen here. Let's get that. Let's get that done so you guys, somebody can win this, and I can maybe preview some books for tomorrow. We'll do it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, DWJ. All right, who's going to take home? I told you, Josh. I told you. Cheesier. That was weird. It stopped on Kazra. Cheesier, just do me a favor and go on my website if you haven't filled out the form so I can get your address and I'll send it over to you. Okay, so let's get back to the, the whole, I don't know who AJ Lee is, Christian. I don't. So I talked to Ramita Jr. last year at HeroesCon. He said yes. And then he's like, I'm doing a YouTube channel, so there's some stuff I may not want to talk about and keep that on my YouTube channel. I said it's fine, and I never heard back. Like, I've emailed him a couple of times. I would talk to Kelly Thompson because I'm absolutely loving Absolute Wonder Woman. What would be cool is to get Kelly and Hayden Sherman on at the same time and get the team. I think that's a cool idea. I kind of want to start reading. Yeah, I mean, Leo, for me, it's just reading like the Vertigo stuff and like Preacher, Sandman, and Transmetropolitan, and Swamp Thing, and all the kind of classics like that. Dude, it's the best superhero book ever. Period. End of story. Kaluta would be cool. I know he's getting up there, but he's probably like around Sakai's age. I would interview Kaluta. I've always liked him. I met him once. You would appreciate this, Kazra. Gaiman and Vess were doing a book signing at Books of Wonder in New York City for, I want to say it was one of the kids' books. And then of course Kaluta just showed up there and was hanging out. He was such a nice guy. Marco, I've talked to Jeff. I'll be able to interview Jeff in December when the next, when the hardcover for Shaolin comes out, the 28th anniversary hardcover. He already said, he told me, he's like, as long as you're interested still. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to lose interest. I'll probably talk to Madi at Heroes. I think I would have Madi on the podcast. I think that would be a good one. Be Paul in the house. What's going up? Going up, going on. I like when the mic presses against Dave next, keeps me awake. Mark, another one. Actually, if you want to see a great Mark Spears interview, Chris Piers on Comic Tropes After Dark, his channel Comic Tropes After Dark, just had him on his channel like Monday night. Yeah, Madi's cool. I like Madi. Oh, interesting. I'd love to have Punk on, honestly. Yeah, that would be something I would totally go for. I tried to get Aragonis through Dark Horse. I'm going to try through Sakai. It's another one I've thought of, and I think that would be a fun one too. Although I feel like I'm out of my depths with somebody like that, but you never know. Okay. Kaluta's variant for Escape 1 looks so sick. I haven't seen it, but I'll have to look it up. Scott, I had Mark Waid on very early. My second interview was Mark Waid. I want to say it was 2 years ago. If you search it on my channel, it's short. I enjoyed talking to Wade, but I needed more time, and I need to read. I want to wait until he has the history of DC Universe out, and then I probably would have him on. Yeah, Groth would be crazy. BJS. Follow Direct Edition, my podcast. I had Sanford on a month and a half ago. We did about almost 2 hours. Me and Sanford are planning something else, but it's when he has time. We're going to do something on this channel. But I had Sanford on right before the Doom Treasury and Bitterroot came back. Great interview. I love Sanford. Sanford was the first person that I ran into. I ran into Sanford at OAX. And he was the first person, nope, second person. Derek or Kim was the first person. Sanford was the first person that told me that he watched my channel. I was like, well, damn, I got to have you on. So, like artist-wise. She also did Wonder Woman in the IDW Glow Run. Okay, didn't know that. I mean, you know, Scott, I never really read enough Charles Soule. Nope. I feel bad because I know everybody likes him. I'd have to do it. Dude, I'd have fucking Stone Cold on. I'd have Danny DeVito on. You know, he lives in my town. I'm going to probably see him in July at Fantagraphics, so that's somebody I could go to. Somewhere I could meet him. Is he? Yeah, Scott. No, I didn't realize your last name's Green. Are you related to Sanford? Yeah, Scott. Sanford and me have a great chat. It's honestly like another person that I could talk to for 3 straight hours. Andre Lima Arayo. I don't know who that is. Haspiel with Chaikin. I feel like I want to introduce myself again to Chaikin, and I'll have him on after Heroes. But another one that I feel like out of my depth. I don't know enough, and the fucking research I'd have to do. Jim Zub would be fun. Yeah. All right. Well, that's Friday night. Fady Melly. It was great to meet, approachable and easygoing. We chatted about his process. I know the name. I don't know what he's done. You know, I met Sharp at Emerald City a couple years ago. Super nice guy. He would be interesting because he's been around a long time, and I always liked his art style. Priest, yeah, Priest. I got to read that book. Joey Q is somebody I want to have on. Yeah, I think I read the first 5 issues of the Vader run. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Erwin, I've asked him twice, and I've reached out to him multiple times, and it's just like, you know, the interview that he did recently with 2000 AD on their new YouTube channel or whatever. He doesn't like doing interviews, and I think he did it because it's 2000 AD. That's what I kind of gauged. Even though he said yes, I don't think he likes doing them. You are very demanding. I'd have Riley on. Now that it's wrapped up, I actually could probably have him and Dan on, but maybe I'll just have Riley on. I can reach out to Riley. We're gonna just finish trilogy Remender called Phenomena. Oh, okay. Yeah, I will check it out. Gabriel, let me just tell you something about Sam Keith. Not only will Sam Keith never do an interview, you probably won't ever see Sam Keith again. And it's not because of anything that he is an absolute recluse. Trust me, I know. I've not read enough of Wes Craig's books. I really should read Deadly Class. Derek, I think I'll just leave that one. Nick's great. I love Nick. I do. The other thing about this is, and it's not directed at anybody, but I have to be interested in it because I'm giving a lot of time. Let me give you a Sam. I don't think he wants to be on video anymore. Let's just say that. I think from conversations with him. You know, when I went comic book store hunting with him, he knew that I was filming, but he doesn't want to be on YouTube anymore, and I sure as fuck don't blame him. Erwin, I met Steve 2 years ago, talked to him for a while. He actually follows me on Instagram. He doesn't like doing interviews. He just says he doesn't feel comfortable with like being in front of the camera and like talking about himself. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Some people really don't. Oh, Bendis? I'll get Bendis. I actually will definitely get him when I reach out to him. I just haven't. My idea would be to do like a retrospective with Bagley and Bendis on Ultimate Spider-Man, because I really love that book, and I think the two of them did a lot of great stuff. That'll be at Heroes, Dan. Maybe I could talk to him there. I didn't get a chance to talk to him last year, and I should. Kaya, okay. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that one's really good. For a while, any interview does will just be berated with questions about it. Well, you know, it's not even that. It's just like he put himself out there. And I think it's enough to have been in that situation and not want to be around it. Like I completely respect that from Jim. It didn't stop me from pitching an idea to him very recently about zines and talking about them. But, you know, I threw it out there and it's okay. 100% understand. Melee is an artist on Spawn, primary writer, color medium, 21. Huh, interesting. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the Ghost Machine stuff. It's just, I've never really been a fan of Jeff Johns. Hitch, I have nothing against or anything. I'm just not a big Jeff Johns guy. Connor, I had Mike on a year and a half ago. We did 2 hours. I'll have him on again. But I want to wait till his art book is in my hands. I'm going to talk to him about that. He is, Sam, and that's the thing. Like, he's been through the fucking ringer at this point. I don't even know what he looks like, but I love his art. And how about Alien? Yeah, he's just a great one. What up? I mean, I have to get more than one issue under the belt, but I really want Mobius. Can you get me his Ghost? No, Cheesier, I want to pitch Dragotta and Snyder. I'd love to get them on at the same time, but I would love to talk to Nick, and I'm sure I can get that done. I have reached out to Greg Capullo so many times, and I've never gotten a response. And Capullo's in my top 5. Dennis Camp, I think he's amazing. I would like to read more of his stuff. Yeah, well, Jim just announced via his Patreon that he's doing a new zine on adult comics too. Gabriel, I actually talked to Trad about a month and a half ago. And I reached back out and I still haven't heard back from him, but he said a preliminary yes. And that's a big one for me too. All right, well, we can talk, Dan, when I see you. Well, if I don't see you at Heroes, we can talk anyway. Jesse Lonergan. I don't know enough about Jesse Lonergan, unfortunately. Well, Marco, it didn't happen. Apparently that movie sucked. I still haven't seen it. But I would love to talk to Gareth Edwards. It's Sam, he's definitely open and he will be interviewed at some point. I'll pass. I don't think he's going to be doing any interviews anytime soon. I like Larry Hama, but I'm not really a fan, so to say. I've never been a G.I. Joe fan. I love his Wolverine run. That's going out on Friday. I forgot that I was going to preview some books, so I'll just put some stuff out while we're talking. You know, and for anybody that doesn't know, like the research I do for this is like I will sit down and I'll watch 20 hours of interviews over the course of a week of a person and take it all in and, you know, go through the books that I've read of theirs and take it all in, go through some old printed interviews and take it in. And then like, we'll spend days writing questions. I'll write notes first and then I'll write questions. Like, there are some people I can't, like with Alice Darrow, I know what we're going to talk about, but it's more of an exploratory of like what her influences are and, you know, what we can expect from this book. But, you know, a guy like Stan Sakai, I had to sit down and just do research upon research. Todd was the easiest, even though it was the hardest because I had to like narrow down what I wanted to talk about. Larson too. But then some of these people that have been around or, you know, I just have to do so much research. My Hammett interview. Who are we talking about? Because I don't know who that is. Instead of Rob, just get every other extreme employee you can. Yeah, I'll get Dan Fraga. No, and I've reached out via his website like 6 times and never even got a response. I'd love to have Eastman. 100%. He's on my list of like, you know, bucket list. Connor, I'm sure he's up to something. Method. There we go. Oh, my Sakai. Yes, thank you. It's such a blast talking to him. Eric Talbot would be fun. I mean, I can't do justice to what they talked to him about on Ink Pulp. I mean, they did a great job with him on Ink Pulp. The other thing is just, try and get people that haven't done interviews. Like if you look for Sakai, he's only done a handful of video interviews. This is all going out on Friday. It's the original book right there. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've heard good stuff about Ryan Sook. Speaking of Ryan's, Otley is somebody I've been trying to get since I started this channel. Talked to him in person. He doesn't really like doing interviews. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yes. All right, it's almost too much to do both of these things at once. I mean, his exposure on your channel is something. Well, there's also some Todd. Yeah, I know. I don't dislike him. I just, the thing is that the other thing about this is, ooh, one of those going out tomorrow. The other thing about these interviews is they don't do well. And so that's what, like, trying to build the direct edition interview stuff up. But for me, if I'm super interested, then I don't care. But if I'm doing an interview with somebody that I'm like, about, and it doesn't do well, it'll feel like a waste of time. But also, if you watch some other interviews on comic book channels, most people that are interviewers are drier than sandpaper in a desert, and I'm not that person. I try to be, good. I get out of the way. I say something and I get out of the way, and it gives that person a chance to talk. So, yeah, there's going to be, you know what, let's just go to full screen. There's going to be plenty of books out for sale on Friday. I'm going to start at 6:15. We'll go into whatever, 11 o'clock. Sam, I like Dandy Don's art. That's what I'll say. I mean, the kayfabe interview was, speaking of Don, I would love to have Donnie Cates on, because I absolutely think that he is, obviously he's been away for a while and he had his accident, but damn, one of the best writers in comics in the last 10 years. Yeah. He's such a great artist. He's such a great artist. People that I want that I haven't been able to get even a hold of. Silvestri's people have been saying he's busy for 2 years. I spoke to Sankiewicz's manager, studio manager. He put a nix on interviews for the time being just because of deadlines. Eastman, Tradmore, Ryan Otley, Jim Lee, but that's never going to happen. Yeah, Derek, I tried that. And maybe if they're doing press, if Kugler does press for the upcoming Ironheart show, which doesn't look like it's getting any press, maybe I can get him for that. Yeah, he rants a lot, and he's not a good interview subject. We got to call a spade a spade. God Country is one of my favorite books in the last 10 years. Milgram had good energy and pretty funny, plus he's done it all. I don't see him interviewed that much. Yeah, I mean, that era of like the late, like Plug's still alive. I mean, Plug would be a cool interview, but Kaluta, that was a good suggestion of a guy that's like been around those years. Milgram, I wouldn't know what to talk to him about, for me, because he's not my era. I spoke to Hughes at OAX. He's been on Comic Art Fans. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't really talk much. What up, Dave? My dude. So I had Jim Shooter lined up for an interview, and then he ended up in the hospital last year with whatever he got sick. Since then, I've never been able to get a hold of him. He actually emailed me from the hospital. And, I would love to have him on. I don't know if he's not doing interviews anymore or if he has somebody not answering his emails. I'll see him at Heroes. I'm sure he does. He's been around. I love Joe. It would have to be, yeah, it would have to be something where I knew I was going to be doing it and I had a room. You know, if like, you know, maybe an original art convention gave me a room to do interviews in, I don't know, maybe I'd be able to do it. Yeah, I don't think John Byrne's doing any interviews with anybody ever again. I just feel like he doesn't like people. Zach would be fun. I just don't think he really, I don't know. Kazar, is Zach still doing stuff from the Philippines? Like, have you guys had him on the channel? I won't. What up, Dirt? I tried. I spoke to Christine, his wife, at Rose City. I never got anywhere. I spoke to Dark Horse. Never got anywhere. You know, maybe next year when he just announced he's doing another show in New York at, was it the Pierre Lebon Gallery or whatever? So maybe next year around that I can get him on. Yeah, I figured. He seems to be very content with doing nothing. Oh yeah, yep. Oh yeah, yeah, I'll be there, Dave. I will. John Byrne doesn't like anything. I spoke, I'll get Ramos eventually. Yeah. I already, his manager or his rep, Joe, knows that we'll get him on eventually. You know, I thought about, I would love to get Burns on. I just don't know. I guess I could probably get in touch with him. Klaus, I would love to get Klaus, but I think he only wants to do interviews when he's promoting something because he's damn Klaus. You know, Joe, Leo, I thought about that. You know, I would love to get Nick Cage on. I don't know who else. I don't really not tapped into sports, the comic fans in sports besides like CM Punk. Johnny Ryan. I mean, like those guys are great. Just not my guys. I like them, but just not my guys. Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I'll get Barry Windsor Smith. I'll get him. Jesus. Andy, I had Chip on, and I said at the beginning of the show you might not have been in here. Chip's coming back. We are locking down a date and time, but I'm recording with him at the end of this month. You know what, Felix? I talked to him at a con, and he would want an appearance fee, and if that guy says something... Look, I don't want to hear him talk politics, and if he does, I'm just gonna be like, okay, bye. Mother, I mean, Glenn Danzig seems like a miserable human being, but I'd still interview the hell out of him. Yeah, Andy, he's gonna be back. Yeah, sure. Oh, Sam, I went looking for him in Tokyo last year. I just kind of walked around the streets. I was like, anybody know where Katsuro Otomo is? And everybody just kind of looked at me. I cry. Yeah, dude, imagine that. I mean, it's probably possible. It's just reaching the pitch, reaching him. He's kind of an asshole. You know what? He's got like the coolest stories, and then like you follow him on social media, and then you're just like, oh, why did I do this? And then you unfollow him. You know, like when he's just mouthing off about stuff that's like, dude, you're living in the 60s with your fables and your pretend, you know, it was a train track and the train was coming and Stan Lee tried to tell me to get out of the way, but I escaped the chains. And then, yeah, that was already asked. I have asked Simon twice in person, has said, yeah. And then I contacted his person and I never get a reply. Yeah, Lieber's super nice. He does have a nice hairpiece. He's also like this tall. No, he's not even a boomer. He's a pre-boomer. I mean, he's 80. Oh, I guess he's a boomer. No, he's on a different planet. You're living in the past, man. You hung up some clown in the 60s. The best is like, his stories are amazing and I'd love to get them, but I just don't want the other side of it. If I go back in time, who would I interview? There's one name. His name's Jack Kirby. Obviously Stan Lee, but Kirby before Stan Lee, or both of them. But yeah, I mean the interviews are fun and they're a lot of work, but yeah, I would love to get some of these people. I mean, I think it would be fun to get if I knew that Garib Sheamus would be on the up and up, I would have Garib Sheamus on, but I don't think you're gonna get the answers you want out of a guy like that. So I've tried to get Mark Miller on, and now I kind of don't want to. Has anybody seen the trailer for this new book that he's doing with Ramita Jr.? It should just be called We Want the Money. That's what it should be called. Yeah, really. Yeah, I didn't meet him either. I saw him do a panel with Todd, but I never met him. I tried, Matt. I reached out to Dark Horse because I think there's a new hotel. Shit, what's it called? Not Hotel Oblivion. Oh my God. Anyway, he's got the book coming out, and he's also going on tour. And they said he's not doing interviews right now. Yeah, I would love to. If anybody's got a connection with him, I would love to have him on. I would love to have Kevin Smith on. I just don't know how. Oh no, I don't. Who wants to talk to Bob Kane? He didn't do anything. He just lied a bunch. I've never looked at the comment section on that. I also tried to get David Cho on, but that's another hard one. I think I could put out very good quality interviews with some of these people. Now's the time to get Morrison on. It would be a groundbreaking interview to get Grant Morrison on. And I'm not saying no. Just don't know if it would work. Vince Gilligan. Sure, Marco, you connect me with the creator of Breaking Bad. I'll talk to him for fucking 3 hours. Oh, of course some people do. I mean, and we do it for them, unfortunately, sometimes. I like humble people. That's why Stan Sakai, DWJ, I mean, Todd's not humble, but Todd is also like super will answer you. Jimmy Rugg, super humble. I like that kind of thing. And I like doing, the kind of like bullshit with Chip that we did at the beginning of the interview. Like that kind of stuff is fun to me. I would love like any comic creator that comes on, if they have a sense of humor, I want that on there. I want that on there. Smith, I don't think would be that hard. It's editing the video would be the hardest part. I tried talking to Ron Lim. He sounded like he was good to do it, and there was no way to get in touch with him. I was like, okay, cool. I'll talk to him again. Only ask him shit about the X-Files. Todd rhymes with God, bud. Just wanted to say you inspired me to do comic books full time. Keep up the great content. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And, thank you. And good luck. Dude, it's hard enough to figure out how to get in touch with me. I can't find his publicist. He doesn't, like Albert Moy. I doubt I'm getting it through Albert Moy. He would be the only person. Maybe. I don't know. The second one didn't really do that well, Derek. And, I got to do, if I feel inclined to do it, I'll do it again. But I don't want to do stuff that's going to be like, 2 hours of my time and not really get seen. That's right. See Todd by Todd. Andy Belanger, he's a good artist. There's a lot of people, but I think for me, I think I like, and I think y'all could agree, interviewing comics creators, professionals, whatever, that have a bit of like a piece in comics history, or have a lot of comics history, is definitely more interesting than getting somebody that worked on a book that's good, or a current book. The promotion thing is fun, but I, once again, want to be the one to be like, yeah, I want to have this person on to promote it. Okay. All right, Kazra, that's a great idea. And Flesk, everybody says he's a great guy, so I'll talk to him. Leo, that's another person that I'd love to have on. I don't know how to get in touch with him because, like, I don't know. Maybe I could ask Jim. No, actually, I think I know who connected Ed and Jim with him. I think it's somebody I might be able to reach out to. Dude, I asked Art in person at Rose City, and he basically said, he's like, send me a message on Instagram. If I look at it, then I'll reply. I'm like, no, just no. Fuck you. You think you're that self-important that I should send you a message that you might look at? Nah. And I love Art Adams, and I know he's a bit of a grump, but that was a fucking really fucking dick statement. Sorry, Derek. Tony, I thought about that, and I know he's like up there, whatever. He's like 92, 93, and I'd love to. I should reach out. It's just like, that's an intimidating thought to me. But if anybody knows that he's still like very active and talks a lot, because I know they did that documentary about him at, they did the Society of Illustrators. Yeah, I mean, I would be down. Connor, I like David Mandel, but he's overexposed at this point. Not interesting to me to like talk to somebody that's got a big bank account. I don't know. Swear to God, the only good interview I ever did. Yeah, I mean, he does like his videos, or the stuff that Alex Ross does with the videos where he's like talking, like it's just like, I guess it's kind of what the documentary is, but he's been putting those videos out on YouTube for a long time. He is a very fascinating person to listen to. I think like the way he speaks is so enthralling to me. It seems like, to like at first kind of listen, it seems like he's a little dry, but it's the opposite. He sounds like almost like he's a documentarian. There we go. There we go. The rude dude. I mean, I like Steve. I just feel like Steve's got his own channel, and like anything I could ask him, he's already done on his channel. Is it Sal Abenati? Yeah, I know that's his manager. And he's Sankevich's guy too. I'm betting talking to Joan might be the way to get through to Art. But yeah, he was a bit of a dick. Yeah, I mean, like, I always knew that he was a little rough around the edges, but when I asked him that and he said that, I was like, yeah, no, that's not the type of person I want to have a conversation with if that's how they react to you asking. What question? What question? What question? What? What was your question? What was your question? What was your... Ask Steve about his favorite brand of sleeveless t-shirts. Yeah, Steve really needs like an endorsement from a t-shirt company that makes them sleeveless to begin with. But there is a charm about cutting off your own sleeves. I mean, I think there are people that I could keep having on and the conversation would never get boring. You know, like Danny Warren Johnson. I don't think I could ever get bored talking to him. I don't think I'll have any time struggling to have more interviews with Todd or Eric. The in-person meetup idea from the round table peeps. Wait, I didn't see this. Tyler, how's the brain seed of the in-person meetup? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to Heroes. If people are Heroes, we can meet up, but I'm not going to plan. I'm so exhausted from planning shit. I have no clue, George. Yeah, Kazra, I'll talk to Mike at Heroes about coming back, because yeah, our conversation that we had was like just about everything. And he is such a nerd. He's my kind of nerd. No, it's just, I can't, Tyler, you want to pay astronomical prices for near mint 1960s Amazing Spider-Man books? Sure. I mean, no, I don't, comics people are comics people. I give equal, like, yeah, they're just comics people. Asked the rude dude about Mike Richardson fucking the Nexus cartoon. Yikes. Actually, Mike Richardson is somebody I'd love to talk to, because the guy's been in the game for, with Dark Horse, is 40 something years old. Yeah, That I'll interview him when he comes to my door next. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I only fuck with Marvel Tales reprints. I have a lot of those too, Connor. I just got a whole run of them. I'm trying to think, like, I still want to have all the image founders on. Here's the funny thing. By the way, that's a duck taco, just in case anybody was wondering. So I reached out to DC 3 times to their publicity department about getting Jim Lee on. Pre-Hush 2. I'm starting to understand why they didn't do any interviews for Hush 2. I didn't even bother with the 3rd issue. The 2nd issue was just, yeah, you know. I don't know who Dude John Tobias is. I don't know what that is. Good evening, Rob. Mike Richards took the Nexus rights, said he was going to get a cartoon at the ground, finally signed up for 10 years and never did anything with it. Yeah. He's probably trying to figure out who gets the money, Mike Barron or Steve Rude. Oh, he did? That's good to know. I'd love to get Kirkman on. Can't get a fucking response from Image or Skybound on that. I tried, Derek. I spoke to his publicist, and he wasn't. I couldn't get him. I tried to get him. Tried to get Charlie Cox. Like, I'm going after anybody and everybody, but I mean, I don't. What's his name? Still not alive? Or is what's his name alive from San Diego? I don't know. I mean, you know, the Shelton Drum would be a fun one, Heroes Con, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if it would be interesting. Oh, okay. All right, Casper. Yeah, definitely do that. Tarantino would be amazing. Yeah. I don't hate people's ideas. It's just, you got to understand, like, not everything's an idea I'm going to go for. A lot of stress. A lot. I used to work in the events industry, and those people are all fucking just balls of stress. I don't think Shelton Drum's a ball of stress. That's right. I'm out here big game hunting. Patton Oswalt's great. I love Patton Oswalt. I not read any of whatever that book is that he's doing for Dark Horse, but I always liked him. Oh yeah, John Tobias. That John Tobias. Mortal Kombat. Doop doop doop. That's why we had the character Boone Saibot. I got the king of all interviews, the fridge. Isn't he dead? Oh, shut up. Hold on, let me see. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Guillermo del Toro. No, it's not behind me. I like Brian Posehn. I like him. I mean, I didn't read his Deadpool run. I probably should. Get him on the record about who his favorite Ultraman kaiju is. David, you know, it's funny, Caribbean Hideout. Yeah, no, I can't spell his fucking name either. I was going to reach out to him, and then I read the first issue of Knights vs. Samurais, and I'm like, nope. Because I can't fake it. I can't be like, you've got this book out, you know, it's with Spawn, it's with, you know, McFarlane, and it's fucking terrible. Offerman would be great. I love Offerman. Why? So he can fucking cry about being kicked out of Metallica and claim that he wrote all of their songs? That's it. Did you say it before? Rob Liefeld is the Dave Mustaine of comics. Leo, not 6 hours ago did I reach out to James Gunn's publicist for a second time, because I did hear back from her 6 months ago, and I would love to get on that. I think James Gunn would be the perfect interview because he's a filmmaker. He's running DC Studios. He's a huge comic head, and he's a huge movie guy. And he used to be he used to do trauma films. Yeah, I thought about it. I really did. And I read that book and I was like, I can't interview. Like, I can't fake it. That's for other comic channels that want clout. I want to I want to have a good experience. And yeah, Feige would be great. I don't think he is super approachable with that stuff. You never see him. You see him on like press junket interviews, but you never see him on podcasts where like Gunn has done podcasts before. He did Michael Winterbaum, right? His podcast. Scotty Ian would be great too. Yeah. Well, I approached Sebastian Bach's management. I got like 2 responses and then nothing. I would love to have Sebastian Bach on. Liefeld and Dave Mustaine on the same. Lars and Mustaine on together would be hilarious because Lars would just be like cursing the whole time. That's all the dude does. Yeah, seriously, like Mustaine, it's so weird because like Megadeth is a great band. You know, Countdown to Extinction is a fantastic album. And the one before it, I can't remember the name. And it's just like all he does is cry about Metallica. Yeah, James Gunn is, and he also just seems like a really good dude. Rosenbaum. Yeah, thank you, Connor. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, his early career, and then like he just kept like he's got that Peter Jackson career, right? Where Jackson started with Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste and Dead Alive, and then did Heavenly Creatures, and then Frighteners, and then Lord of the Rings. And you know, Gunn starts with the Trauma stuff, and then does Slither, and he does he wrote Dawn of the Dead with, you know, Zack Snyder, and it's just like, and now look at him. Oh, interesting. I don't think they're great directors, but I would love to have them on. Lloyd Kaufman. Is that the Trauma guy, right? Yeah, it's the Trauma guy. Yeah. Dude, how about a second issue? They didn't even put 2 issues out yet, right? The first issue came out and it was good. It was like, I read it and I remember talking to Chris about it. I was like, it could go so predictably, and if it does, I'm going to be so angry. Oh, that's right. He wrote Scooby-Doo. That's right. Oh, and apparently Rob wrote it as well. There he is, Rob McCallum taking credit for writing Scooby-Doo. We may never know if it's true or not. Don't forget to hit the like button, friends. And look, I'm going to say this. These interviews are going to go on Direct Edition, so you got to subscribe. Look at all the people I interviewed this year on Direct. Alex Pardee, Jim Ward, founder of Sparta and co-founder of At the Drive-In. Scheme Richards, Shawn Crystal, 2 Jews, 1 Podcast. Dave Correa, 2 Daves, 1 Podcast. Who else did I have on? Chris Farron. I had Rob Sheridan. I mean, like, so many good things. Scoops. Derek, I was thinking about that yesterday. I would love to have Jay Scott on. Kazzer, if you could connect me with his people, I'd appreciate it, because I have always kind of liked Jay Scott. Dave Mustaine wrote Scooby-Doo. 2 Daves, 1 Podcast. You already made Pennywise. That's right. There you go. So Matt, another person I reached out to a couple weeks ago was Matthew Lillard, especially because he's got that new movie, the new Mike Flanagan movie. He's in Life of Chuck, and no response yet. No response. You guys don't understand what the Direct Edition. I have an email address for Direct Edition. It's just directeditionpodcast@gmail.com. You should see the scent, like the title, like I have no reason to be reaching out to some of these people, and you know, I'm just doing it because it can't hurt. Also, Liam Finn I had on the podcast. Let's see, Fantastic Forecast, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, Weird Al, Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie in the Last of Us games, Ben Gibbard, lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie, Neil Druckmann, creator of Last of Us, Matthew Lillard, Ahmed Best, Christopher Storer, showrunner and creator of The Bear. Let's see, who else? Trent Reznor. You know, some of these people I've gotten responses, some of these I haven't. Phoebe Bridgers, Robert Rodriguez, Haley Steinfeld, Ryan Coogler. You know, I'm trying. Dude, I love Matthew Lillard. He's such a positive guy too. He's a big nerd. Yeah, SLC Punk. Hamill, I want to reach out to. I don't know who Jim Cummings is, but I did just reach out to Ashley Johnson. I'd love to get what's his name on too, who did Joel in the games. I can picture his face. He did Indiana Jones, and I can't remember his name. Oh, did I just show some crack? Oh well. I'm in my fucking shorts, man. What do you want from me? Your father, Josh. Allen. Thank you, Troy Baker. Troy Baker. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Dude, Caribbean, I reached out to whatever it's Vault Comics, like their PR people the other day, literally saying like I'll have Post Malone on if I'd be happy to host him, talk about the comic. Fuck yeah, I'd talk to Post Malone. Dude is a huge music head, and I'm sure I could talk to him about his comic for like 15 minutes and then talk music with him. I mean, Derek, I thought about that and I don't really have much interest in it. Like voice acting is great and I love it. Everybody, the one person I would love to have on is dead. I'd love to have Hamill on. I'm more like the one that I would connect with the most would be anybody from the Invincible cast because I love that show. X-Men 97 is great. It's not something I'm like, I gotta have the next season. Yes, you can. It's a Harry interview, all right? You don't know who Jim's Coming is? Bo's like, Sam, I don't know who everybody is. Do you know who Stone Gossard is? Do you know who Jim Atkins is? Do you know who Dave Wexler is? Do you know who Jesus Christ is? That makes no fucking sense. Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar's awesome. Fine, Sam, shut up. Just because I don't know somebody doesn't mean that I don't know myself. Listen, I gotta go. By the way, I wanted to make another announcement that I forgot. We only had like 3 entrants in the Jazz Hands thing. So we're at 8,000 subscribers. I'm just gonna give this away on the channel. I hate doing fucking giveaways that require people to do something. I'd rather just give it away. Who's Dave Wexler? You know, Connor, I've been sitting in this fucking skin for 45 years, looking in the mirror, trying to figure that one out. I know who Mel Blanc is. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Connor, y'all are fucking needy. Yeah. Another one, I would love to interview Keith David because not only is Keith David voiced, Spawn, he's been in, like, he's just had such a great career. Who wouldn't want to listen to that man talk? I would just say, I would be like this. Hey, Keith, yeah, just talk. And I would put the microphone down and I would just let him talk. LeVar Burton would be badass, but only if he talked exclusively about Reading Rainbow. I mean, look, and I'm generally when it comes to the movie world, I probably would interview anybody because that's like, I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was younger. I went to film school. It's something that I truly love. Music too, like if it's a band that I like, I would interview any member. Because I'm not a musician, it's tough for me to be like, yeah, I'd like to interview the drummer for this band. Pearl Jam would be probably the only band that I would interview any member because, but even like a band like Jimmy Eat World, I reached out to try and get Jim on. I don't know if I would have much to talk about with the rest of the band. Maybe, I don't know, You know what it is? The problem is that I sank the Titanic, so he's kind of mad at me. Fuck off, Tyler. You don't have to remind me that I'm your dad's age. Guy from Resident Evil with them sunglasses and the spooky eyes. That's I wish I were LeVar Burton. Yes, that's right. He was a part of the Umbrella Corporation. Most of the people I want to suggest are dead. And that makes well, yeah, Tyler. I can't interview Kurtz. I can't interview Chris Cornell. I can't interview Jack Kirby. So now I'm the bad guy, one of the bad guys, in Resident Evil. I'll take it. I'll take it. Druckmann is somebody that I've been trying to get. I'm fascinated by him and polarized by what he's created. And, you know, we have a lot in common being big Pearl Jam fans. You know, there are some people that I just, I don't think I'll ever, you know, like there's some people you don't see do interviews. Not that he is. Yeah, Connor, let me see what I can do about that. Dude, James Cameron may seem pompous, but James Cameron also has a right to have the ego that he has. His movies have changed consistently. His movies have reinvented what movies are and has made money to prove that. Why aren't I a necromancer? Because I missed that part, like studying the Haftorah for my bar mitzvah. They didn't want to give me the Jewish Book of the Dead, unfortunately, Connor. Yeah, Cameron is a comic. Oh, he's a comic dude. Lucas is a big comic dude. I don't know if Spielberg is. I imagine Spielberg was reading comics in the 70s and the 60s growing up. But yeah, I know Lucas and Cameron are. Those guys, you know. I mean, shit, does anybody know? And Kazra, I don't know if he's still in here, but Kazra might know. Did Cameron have a choice? Like, did he want Mobius to do that first Abyss book and then Kaluta did the second? I've reached out to Robert Rodriguez via his website and all that, like his contact, and not heard back. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that makes sense. I figured he was. I just wasn't sure. Oh my God. George Lucas interview. I mean, even like getting 15, 20 minutes with him just about the museum that they're doing would be amazing. Derek, for me, I think it's easier for artists, and I think artists are the ones that are more inclined to talk. But I've only interviewed one. I interviewed Wade, but I only really did in depth with one straight out writer, and it's Chip. Although Dan, you know, Daniel Warren Johnson's a writer as well. I think it's easy if we're talking about it in the way that I like to interview people and like talking about what influences them and then going into it deeper. I don't really care about doing interviews about like, it's never really interested me to talk about character motivations of a story. You know, I like when I talked to Sanford about the Doom book, I wanted to know more about like just the art of it, and then like the storyline. I don't know. I'm more fascinated by the other parts of it. Whereas like movie, if I were to talk to a script writer, I would be interested in like plot stuff. Or when I'm talking to a lyricist, I definitely like hearing about the meanings of songs if they want to talk about that. So I guess it just depends on my interest level on it. But I do find artists are easier to talk to. Publishers, you would have to be somebody that's got a lot of stories, like a Gary Groth or, you know, like a Mike Richardson. But I'm more interested to hear about what led up to them becoming that person. I'm in. Say no less. Or no more. I am in. I've reached out to Hewlett via his website. I've got no response. Damon's probably even harder to reach, but I'd love to. Cameron's on record for saying if the graphic novel format existed, he would never bother with films. Very interesting. I did not know that, and that's so cool. Yes, it would. Oh, in character or out, either way would be fun. Yeah, no, somebody had said Kevin Smith. I'd love to have him on, and Jason Mewes would be great too. Yeah. Well, I mean, he started with Sex Criminals. He draws his own stuff, and we talked about that. But you know, his last 10 years, with the exception of a public domain, he's been writing almost exclusively. That's another one on my list. I know I could probably get him on in context of Berserker, because if I asked Dinesh to connect me with Kint and get him and Kint on, I bet I could, or him and Ron Garney, for that matter. The actors in yeah, that's what I was saying. No, we didn't, but I would love to. Reynolds could be good too. I mean, Reynolds has got, 30 plus years under his belt. Eric Stevenson would also be a fun one. I'd like to Groth would be the first one I'd probably go after. Go after the hardest, most surly one. Interview Ming, and he could probably help. Ming, like the wrestler Ming Doyle, Ming the Merciless. I don't know who Ming is. But Starlin, I should probably ask Jim Starlin. He's got so much history. It'd be a fun interview. I had my chance. I just didn't talk to him last year. Ming Chen. Is it okay that I don't know who that is? Sounds like an artist, but I don't know who that is. I would love to get Jack Kirby. So if somebody can get, just grill Gary Groth on critters. No, I want to just ask Gary Groth about the interview he did with Todd McFarlane and nothing else. I won't even talk about Fantagraphics. I'll just be like, so there's this magazine called the Comics Journal, and you did an interview with Todd McFarlane, and on the cover of that Comics Journal is your severed head drawn by Todd McFarlane. Won't even mention, but I'm sure me and Gary Groth could have a great, there's so much I could talk to him about. I mean, I could just talk to Gary Groth about Klaus and Los Bros, and then Karl Barks and Stan Sakai. Those four things. I tried to get Milana Weintraub on. I heard back from her people, and then said she wasn't doing any podcasts at the moment. She plays Squirrel Girl, but she's somebody I'd love to get on. I know, Connor, it's fucking fantastic. Ming is one of the guys from the Comic Book Mentee. Oh, okay, yeah, I never watched it. It was on after Walking Dead, I guess, or was that the Robert Kirkman show? That was the Robert Kirkman. Yeah, I never watched either of those shows. And now I don't have AMC or whatever, or Critters. Yeah, or Critters. Funny Animal Books, which would be talking about Sakai, and I forget who else. Does Aragones probably does some stories in there. I feel like I've seen some. But yeah, talking to Stan Sakai was such a treat, and it gave me even though the views weren't there, and the response from all of you Dave Angerinos was great, but I look at stuff like some of the other interviews I've done that have gone on to do thousands and whatever, but interviewing Sakai gave me really that bug to interview people that have been in the industry for a while, because you mentioned it, I mentioned a name, I mentioned Kirby, I mentioned Sergio, I mentioned Galacci, and he talked about all these people, and it's just we all know that he created Usagi Yojimbo, and we got a lot of Usagi stuff in there, but he was part of a movement. He was part of a community in LA. I mean, that Meet Me in San Diego book is proof of that. I think Comic Book Man is on YouTube in full. Okay, cool. I did not know that, Sam. I never sought it out post it being on TV. I don't know who Mike Zappik is. He was, he manages Smith's shop, but even is for a retail. If I do another retail roundtable, that would be great. That would be great. Because, having somebody I don't know on in that is great. I know a lot of retailers, but I want to, if I do it again, I bring on somebody I don't know. I'm playing Kim Thompson, was the main dude behind Critters. Oh, well, he was the main dude behind Sakai's editing, so. Leo, I'd love to get Spiegelman. I never looked into how to get in touch with him, but he would be somebody I would totally talk to. The guy's a legend, and he, his everything he's done for this medium. I mean, Crumb would be amazing. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Connor, we spoke about this. I spoke to Jeff already. Jeff said when the next hardcover comes out, he'll be happy to do an interview. Quote, if you're still interested. And I didn't reply, Jeff, I'll never not be interested. But yeah, his daughter Alice is going to be on the season premiere of Direct Edition. So Alice will be on. I love Donnie. I would love to have Donnie on. I think Donnie, with his, career, and then obviously his hiatus, but he's coming back. I think Donnie's one of the finest comic book writers we've seen in the last 20 years. Silver Surfer Black is one of the two books that got me back into my reading of comics after a 2-year hiatus. That book did so much for me. And reading God Country, his Venom run's fantastic. I still haven't read Baby Teeth. That I would like to read. But yeah, Darrow, I can't wait to talk to him. He's another one that like I know I'm gonna have to try to limit the amount of time I talk to him, but I'm sure we're gonna talk for at least 90 minutes. The thing is like I know that 1 hour interviews really do well, but I like I could always split it up into two parts, you know. I don't like, yeah, look, I've been talking for an hour and 25 minutes fucking straight. So Derek, I reached out, I spoke to Scotty's manager twice last year, and it just didn't line up timing wise for him. And I know like he has to pick his spots when he does his interviews, and he just did Ink Pulp, but you know, I gotta try. I'll probably see him in Heroes. I don't know actually if he's gonna be there, but I'd like to have him on. Connor, you're gonna hate what I have to say. I am not a Paul Pope fan. I don't dislike him. I'm just not a Paul Pope fan. I don't, yeah. Great artist and all that. I'm just not a fan. I mean, everything's dark and heavy, Leo. The movies got dark and heavy. I agree that sometimes it gets too much, but I do gravitate towards that stuff. I just the light stuff really had its time in the sun. Like Carl Barks stuff is great for that, but I think there could be some more of that kind of stuff, but I do gravitate towards the dark and heavy. Sorry, Connor. I like not don't dislike him, just not a fan. It just, you know, it's one of those things where like I look at his artwork, I'm like, this is great. I can't like, it doesn't bring me joy to read a whole bunch of it or look at it too much. And you know, his interview with Kayfabe was good. It doesn't seem like really that interesting of a guy. Sorry. Whereas like Klaus, super interesting. Would love to see a 2 hour interview with him. Kevin Eastman would love to do it, but you know, I don't know. But after everything I've heard about the pricing in his fucking store, I'm like, hey, dude, you're old school. The old guard when it comes to the way, I don't know. You know who I'd like to interview on that? I'd like to have on if I did another retailer roundtable. Brian Hibbs. I don't even most of the time agree with half of the shit he says, but I think he's an interesting person to listen to talk. Well, there you go. Yeah, I know people love it. I mean, for me, it's Carl Barks. Like if I need something very upbeat, or even Usagi. Usagi, even though it deals with cartoonish violence and it's, you know, it's got some heavy themes, it is a very light book. Wow, as long as I got a Polaroid to shake it. Question 1, tell me about your pricing. Question 2, why is it so fucking high? Question 3, no more questions. The Mile High Comics interview. Yeah. Well, Derek, and this channel exists to smash the old guard. This channel exists to bring the joy of comics, to bring the pricing joy of comics, and yeah. I mean, look, Mile High Comics, everybody that goes there says the same thing. It's amazing until you look at the prices. Yeah, I'm gonna get Mateo on. I actually pitched to Shawn having Mateo, Shawn, and Jim on at the same time, and even Jamie. But I haven't met Mateo yet, but I'm pretty sure he knows who I am. But I'll definitely invite Mateo on. The thing about me and Mateo is like, I know that his sense of humor is going to make my dirty ass sense of humor come out, and it's going to be like an interview that's going to have to be like privately shared. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, Sam, you can't look at a comic book from like, yeah, like the late 70s to the early 90s without a Mile High ad being in there. Seriously, like I think Mateo's hilarious, and I would have to resist like introducing him like in some like, you know, fake racist manner where I like say some really shitty Italian thing or something. Davengers After Dark. Well, look, there's not going to be a Davengers After Dark type channel, but my goal is to get the podcast up to 500 subscribers and then maybe do a Patreon or something so that like $5 a month, and then at the end of the year you get like a piece of merch, or you know, you could either opt for that or like a 25% off claim sale coupon, and then I'll do like unedited videos, and like once a month probably do like a video that's not public. Jesus. Yeah, it's a little too much. So if you aren't aware, you can subscribe to the podcast on Spotify. You can also subscribe to it on YouTube. Currently at 333 subscribers on YouTube. I'd love to get that up. You know, the problem is, and what something I spoke to someone recently about public relations people is that like the more subscribers, like with this channel, I don't have to fucking justify shit to any comic creator at this point. I've interviewed Stan Sakai. I've interviewed Todd McFarlane. I've had Eric Larson on. Like, if you don't want to do an interview that's on their schedule or whatever, but with the other podcast talking to public relations people, it's a numbers game. You just got to have more subscribers. 9-part series on Faust on Patreon. Tim Vigil would be maybe a good interview. Dave's beard clippings memberships. That's disgusting. I feel like a Lone Star Comics dude would be interesting, which is my comic shop now. Another one, if I do another retail roundtable, that's the type of thing. Only if I can plant the beard clippings my own meat. I'm like Groot. I grow and yeah, you got to plant me and then you get a mini version of me. Highest tier Patreon videos gets Dave walking barefoot through plates of spaghetti. And like the Bluetooth microphones on it. No, but like, I think what I could offer on the Patreon is like additional podcasts stuff, but then like 2-hour unedited video of me digging through comics, like all of the flubs, all of the, you know, like all of that not cut. But I definitely would do something where it's like, yeah, if you subscribe to my Patreon and you buy comics, you get like 10% off a claim sale night once a month. So like, it doesn't matter what you buy, you get 10% off everything. I mean, he's nice, but Derek, to be honest, that dude's he just not my kind of guy. I'm not into like capitalist business people that like, oh, I started this, and I'm sorry I'm shitting on your stuff, Derek. I think it's just that those people aren't my style. You know, that's why I don't have a guy like Garib Sheamus on. You just have to water with ginger beer. His newsletters were wild. Who are we talking about? Steve Borak? Well, eventually. Oh, I love Michael Jai White. Tim Vigil out of the woodwork. Dude has been making a killing on Kickstarter lately. Yeah, and he seems to do pretty good at conventions too. It's just like that interview with Ed and Jim, it probably won't ever get topped. Get Spawn in here. It would be awesome. Keith David and Michael Jai White, one podcast. That'd be sick. All right, Leo, have a good night. Hopefully see you Friday night right here, live on the YouTubes. Derek, don't hate me. Don't hate me for poo-pooing your ideas. You know, Derek, I think those interviews would be better on a channel like Mickey's, to be honest with you. You know, Mickey does well with interviewing industry people like that. I'm better with talking to creatives because that's what I want to do. Publishers are a different story because like they're pushing the medium forward in the best way possible by publishing, you know? Get Jeff Loeb and just rip apart I love Jeff Loeb. It's just all of his stuff that was great was when he was working with Tim Sale. I was talking about the My Comic Shop. Oh, okay. Are they? I never subscribed. Matt, have a good night. Wesley Snipes would be great. He did that comic, which I'm sure was dog shit, but I'd love to talk to Wesley Snipes. Kills me to say it, but Tom is an excellent. No, Comic Tom is a great interviewer. He's got the enthusiasm. He's got abs. Tyler, the first time I ever watched anything that he did in full was the Todd interview, and I was like, damn, he got the best Todd interview until I got mine. But no, I give Tom being a great interviewer. Like, he's got what most people wish they had. Derek, you figure out a way to get me in touch with him. I would love to have Donald Glover on. That man is a true Renaissance man. He raps, he acts, he directs, he creates. Love that dude. He's funny. Yeah, he did a comic, I want to say, well, like maybe like a year and a half ago. Who knows what he did with the comic? But yeah, his name was all over it. Let's see if I can pull it up. Wesley Snipes comic book. The Exiled by Massive Publishing. Let me share that here. Yeah, so it was designed about him. I don't know what kind of work he did on it. This is a cool cover. That's a great cover. But I usually, and I think we can make a semi-blanket statement. When a celebrity attaches their name to a comic book, it's typically not good. Sometimes it's good though. Like Brian Posehn. There's a great example. Yeah, Loeb did so much good stuff and then also did some shitty stuff for comics. No, they can't. Well, and then he had whatever that medical emergency was with the surgery he had, and he canceled his tour this year. I don't know what he's up to either. I love the Tick. I assume he's still doing stuff, or maybe he's involved with the comic shops, but I can look into that. I mean, the Tick was probably the first like indie comic that I really loved. That was good. I remember reading it, like seeking it out after the cartoon had come out because I loved the cartoon. And I couldn't believe how funny that was, like the first true funny comic I had ever read. I reread the first trade last year or something, and it's still hilarious. Fucking John Leguizamo. Leguizamo would be great too. I always liked him, and I think he's got a great opinion on things. Like, I love hearing him talk about stuff. Maybe if I can't get Donald Glover, I can get Childish Gambino on. I don't know too much about Ben Dunn, but I will show you something. I mean, I know who he is, but I want to show you something. Give me one sec. Hopefully, no more crack. Yes, here it is. Derek, I think he does. I got to be honest with you. I've never read Bone, but I would love to get somebody like him on because he's Jeff fucking Smith. Let's get this. Here, we'll do this. So I pulled this out for the sale this Friday, and it's this like oversized book called Extremely Silly Comics, and Ben Dunn did the back cover, and I guess maybe he published it because it's Antarctic Press. Actually, I guess he did, because maybe not. But either way, this is a Ben Dunn book with Herb Malliott. It's from 1986. This will be for sale on Friday. He's got one of those celebrity movie. Does he? You know who I asked in person last year at Rose City. I would absolutely love to get her on, Rosario Dawson. But she said she doesn't really do podcasts because she talks too much. And I was like, yeah, I get it. We're both from New York. I will say this. Are there any female comic creators that, like, I was thinking about, I haven't read any of her stuff, but I follow Stephanie Williams on TikTok, and she's like fascinating to listen to talk about like what goes into her writing comics and getting paid and getting published. Like, she's her talk about the business end of it is fascinating. Who else? I mean, Kelly Thompson we mentioned, who maybe I can see if I don't know I don't know if Kelly Thompson has much of an online presence, but if I can reach out to her, I would totally have her on and maybe get, if I definitely could get in touch with Hayden Sherman. I'm sure of it. Yeah, Dawson would be amazing because like, I mean, I never read the comic that she did, but she's been involved in so many things that we love. Clerks was, obviously something that but Daredevil, Ahsoka. I mean, obviously we can go back to Kids, but I mean, she's worked with Danny Boyle, Sin City. I had reached out, to Frank Miller's people, Robert Rodriguez, and Rosario Dawson's people, and I didn't get a single response because this year was the 20th anniversary of Sin City. And I love that movie. I know the name, but I don't know who that is. A fuck Richardson. Is that a person? A Fook, I don't know who that is. Zoe would be great. I am ashamed to say I've never read anything she's done, but I know a lot about her, and I think she's awesome. I talked to Jenny Frizen at Heroes last year. I never heard back after I emailed, and I was just like, you know what? Well, maybe one day. Erica Schultz is the one. She's just writing for Rat City. Oh, interesting. That's right. That's that Spawn one, which I never read. The Rundown, that's right, with Dwayne and Chris Walken and Sean William Scott. Great movie. Great movie. Men in Black 2, that's right. Yeah. Clerks 2. Did I say 3? I meant 2. Wolf 2. Wolf. I don't know what that is. Oh, really, Jim? Yeah, I mean, she's great. She's a talented artist. And I really would be kind of fascinated to learn about her process. So she has some stuff out there that she talks about her process. Yeah, I mean, Weezy doesn't like doing interviews. I've heard Walt say that before. Very much like Amanda Connor doesn't really like doing too many interviews, and Laura Allred does. But I think I've seen Weezy do. Oh, that was for the Claremont documentary, though. Yeah, the Rundown was. I mean, dude, Rock's first like 10 movies were great because, like, well, I wouldn't say they're great movies, but he was taking chances because he had to. The Rundown, Standing Tall, The Mummy Returns, obviously. Southland Tales, absolute fucking classic. Oh, you mean Maria Wolf? Tyler, I had a great time talking to her at Emerald City this year, but Jesus, she doesn't stop. She talked to us for like an hour. Oh, Gail Simone, yeah, I know. She's got Good Omens coming out. Dude, that would be insane, getting both of them. The Cuber, I've tried and got no response. I don't think Andy likes doing them, and Adam is so busy. I think he just like does them very, very seldom. I spoke to him last year at Heroes. He said yes, and then I never heard anything back. Maria the Wolf, yeah. But I mean, I've reached out to a lot of people, and it was just nice to know who people are interested in. And ultimately, obviously, you all understand it's got to be interesting to me. But if you all don't know that there is a playlist on this channel with all the interviews I've done, so I could try and run it. Well, yeah, I'll share the screen. We can take a look together. So some of you could see, because I understand not everybody has been subscribing since the beginning, and not everybody has seen every video. But if you go to the playlists, and you can see all the ones I did. I think this I like that. Wow. Yeah. So Todd, Allred, Larson, DWJ, Derek Kim, Larson again, Matt Wagner, Zadarsky, Jim Rugg, Tula Lotte, and Becky Clunan, Jim Mafood. I did 2 with Rugg. Comic Tim also interviewed a bunch of people. Jimmy Palmiotti, Mark Wade, Benitez, Bob Hall, Ed Pisker's family, Bart Sears, aka Bart Kmart. That's the panel I did at the Eddie P. Con. Jim Mafood again, Mark Bagley, Mannix Abrera, and Jiggy O. DWJ again, Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones. Becky Cloonan again. Horror top 5 horror films, which is my favorite video that did the least views, and it's Becky Cloonan, DWJ, Matt Wagner, and Kelly Jones. Alex Pardee, the Ed Piskor tribute I did this year with Scheme, Mafood, Fife, and holy shit. Oh, and Shawn, Japan Book Hunter, Sean Crystal, and Stan Sakai. One unavailable video is hidden. I don't even know what the hell that is. Anyway. Yeah, the Comic Tim Alan Moore interview. Comic Tim interviewed Alan Moore, Stan Lee, and Todd McFarlane. So you can seek that out too. Yeah, and so I feel like I'm missing one that I forgot to add to the playlist there, but I'll fix that. Sometimes you got to go in and you got to do maintenance on some of this stuff. But yeah, if you, and look, I got to say, I've been pretty successful last week posting stuff on Reddit. But if you are Reddit proficient, feel free to pick one of my interviews and put it on there. Oh, I wouldn't even have known that Dan Moore doesn't speak English. Where's he from? Is he Hispanic, or is he from a country that doesn't like Portuguese or something like that? Dan Moore is great. I mean, I would like, what I would really love to do. No, I have both Larson interviews are on there, Jim. That's gonna happen. No, that's gonna happen, Tyler. I already spoke. So Peach's translator is her husband, Yo, and Yo knows that I want to interview her. We spoke at Tokyo Comic Con, and I've spoken to him after the fact. She's just so busy with deadlines because she's doing the whole interview, the whole Ultimate X-Men book, and she's got, covers and doing design work for Marvel Rivals. So I'll reach out back, but I know that it's going to happen when they have time. Chris interviewed Peach earlier this year, and it was done basically while she was working, and Yo just asked her the questions and translated. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but the thing is like, what I want to talk to Peach about is like the stuff that, me and Chris will have done completely different interviews. And that's what's good about it. Like, I already know the stuff I want to talk to her about. Derek, the Kickstarter is going to go live October, and that's when the second book will arrive. I'll have them back on for sure. I'm going to have them on direct edition, but I did ask Kelly last time we talked if he would, if I could get him on to do a separate interview, and he said he'd be down. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, Connor, there's no way that Peach really ever stops working. And like, I hope that she has an end in mind for this Ultimate X-Men book so she could take a break. 'Cause, you don't want to see anybody work their life completely into like the point where they don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, Tyler, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that's my goal. Once again, I'll reiterate it, but I need to be interested in this, and the only way for me to be interested is to ask things that I'm, that are in my wheelhouse of interest. So, but yeah, I got to reach back out to Peach. I'll bug Trad more again. Sanford and I have planned to do something. It's just whenever he's got the time. Oh yeah, Bill Griffith. Bill Griffith didn't he do an interview on Kayfabe? I should watch that again and see if he would be somebody I would be interested in talking to, because yeah, Zippy's been around a bit. I mean, another guy that I'd like to interview, but I feel like it's so much stuff to talk to, would be Dennis Kitchen, and I know I could get him via Kazra. Yeah, she is. She is really fast, but she does so much work. But right now, 1 on the books, 2 on the books. I can't overload myself with them, but I think, yeah, I'm not sure how that would work, Connor. Maybe if I get a Tomo. Isn't Konagai dead? Kazra. You know who I wanted to have on, and then like he was so nice about it, and then I never heard back with Charles Vess. I'm gonna bug him again at Heroes, but you know, I love Charles Vess. Oh shit! All right, fair enough. Fair enough. No, we didn't, but I'm gonna wait. I want to interview him about Secret Wars, and I want to see when the 10th anniversary of that is coming up. Secret Wars Hickman came out in, oh shit, that's this year. Maybe I'll reach out to him this year and talk 10 years of Secret Wars. Jacob, you're always weird. I'm just a vessel for talking. No, Gona Guy's still alive. Okay. All right. I'm not sure how I would get a Gona Guy interview. That feels like shooting for the moon. Yeah, I'll have Derek back on when either the next book, when Last Mermaid comes back, or the book that he's doing with the other guy. I think it's actually called Rivals. He's working with Kenny Ishikawa's daughter to get a Rob. Okay, get a Robo. I'm not so familiar with that. I'm still learning about the manga, you know, Connor. Still learning about all of these characters and that stuff. And my second Japan trip this year, my going back to Japan this year will definitely help. Yeah, Scott Williams could be interesting. I think Mickey is more somebody I'd want to talk to because he worked on, you know, Spawn for a long time. That could be interesting. I wonder, you know, like Inker, I spoke to what's his name last year in person, Scott Hanna. And you know, I gave him, you know, I reached and I asked him, and he said, yeah, he'd be down, and then, you know, never. That's the problem, is like I have to keep following up, and then you get tired of doing it. Nicholas, love you, brother. Tim Townsend. Oh, I was thinking you said that, and I thought Tim Truman, which also he's a talker too. You know who would be? I don't know enough about Tim Townsend. Rick Veitch could be cool. I don't know if Bissett's still doing interviews, but you know who I'd really love to get, and I know he's got his degrading vision, but John Toddleben would be awesome. Fuck it, Bissett, Veitch, and Toddleben all in the same interview. Fuck it, right? That would be insane. I feel like those guys have so much comics history. Why, you know, somebody want to put me in touch with the wizard himself. I'll interview Alan Moore. And I'll even ask him about magic. Yeah, exactly. Hello, I'm Alan Moore. Welcome to the Davengers. He sounds nothing like that. He's more like, hello, I'm Alan Moore. And I like magic. Remember, I actually just watched that interview. He was just on with the Ink Pulp guys. He actually, I love his energy. I'd talk to him. I just would have to play catch up because I haven't read anything of his in a long time. And I was reading all of his stuff back in like 10 years ago. And then I stopped. We mentioned Cates. I'd love to get Cates. I haven't read enough. I haven't read anything of Charles Soule. So I'm not saying no, I just would have to play catch up. I mean, I know she's really fascinating. I would want to watch interviews to see how much she's talked about her dad. And I know she has her own career, which I don't know. Talbot they mentioned, but I feel like Ink Pulp did a great job with them. Challenge him to Magic the Gathering 1v1 and see if he truly... Yeah, I want to read Grommets. That's actually the trade. When the trade comes out, I'm going to pick it up. Dude, I have a whole run of it. I've just never read it. Kitchen might be able to make that happen. I mean, Kazzer can make that shit happen. He's been on Comic Art Fans like 5 times. I feel like another one that would be a month of research. I could talk to Dennis Kitchen about, pick an underground cartoonist and probably talk to Dennis Kitchen for 2 hours about him. And talk to Kitchen about his own art and his collecting and the fact that he's the executor of Eisner. There's a couple others, right? But I don't have time to interview all these people anyway, so one at a time. But my plan is to not stop doing this, and that's the thing. Not stop. Sankevich, but right now he's not doing any interviews, you know? So yeah, just to ask about George and like growing up around all of the crazy comic art and then getting into the comic art. I mean, shit. He's got that new movie coming out with not Wes Anderson, PTA. Paul Thomas Anderson. Next movie is DiCaprio. I mean, that would be amazing. Yeah. All right, hold on, Tyler. Let me go take a bunch of fucking caffeine pills and just start right now. I ain't got no money for that shit. The only thing I could hire is somebody to be a producer, but it would be more than just reaching out for interviews. But I'm not. I need to start earning money from these interviews and like this channel without the comic sales before I consider anything like that. You know what, Derek? If the guy doesn't put out another fucking issue of whatever that book is, I don't want to talk to him. He's got to get out a second. What's the name of the book? The distillery one. Well, producer would be the thing to do it. Jeff Matsuda? No, I don't know who Matsuda is. I don't know if you're talking about Jeff Matsuda. Yeah, hit the like button. And if you haven't listened to the Stan Sakai interview, you must. You got to do it. You got to do it. I haven't watched it yet, Marco. I haven't watched any trailers since they did the Netflix event, which I would like to. It's just I've been, busy. Well, shit. I mean, obviously, imagine that you get like a voicemail from this guy. He's like, "Whoa, man, this Davenger guy wants to interview you." You won't feel a thing. Yeah, he's got to put out another issue of that for me to want to fucking interview. I like Shock. Yeah, I do love Temple Smith. I've had only positive interactions with him in the past. I really like talking to him. Oh, okay. I didn't for that one Batman cartoon. Yeah, he's stuck in the basement under like 12 feet of cement right now. Yeah, that's what when I was that's why I said Jeff Matsuda was an extreme studio guy. It's so funny with those extreme studio guys. Like they all have their place in comics history, and like Panosian is like the only guy that I think I'd want to interview, but he's also very ornery. But I Panosian's still putting forth like killer work. I mean, I do like Fraga's work. I just don't know if I want to interview him. I don't know if I have a lot to talk to him about. Anywho, look, y'all, it's been 2 hours. I gotta get cracking on pricing books. For Friday, I'm gonna go live at 6:15. It'll be just like a Wednesday show. I'll sell some books, gonna have some great stuff. Platt, I talked to last year at Heroes, and it'll happen eventually. But once again, with Stephen Platt, like, unless we get into a discussion about AI and stuff like that, like, there's not a ton of comics work to talk to him about. I haven't, but maybe. Daryl, yeah, better late than never. Vigil, we talked about it. I don't know if I ever will, but we all love him. But anyway, everybody subscribe to Read Your Comics. I'm going to be recording with Daryl this weekend. We're doing some stuff for some big videos for summertime for his channel. But anyway, look, y'all, if you're not subscribed to Direct Edition, just do it. It's a podcast. It's video. It's just like West Coast Davengers. It's just separately. It's where I want to put the interviews so that people see them and it grows into an interview show. Friday night, 6:15. Hit the like button. Everybody come and hang out on Friday night. It's a chance to do you don't have to go to school the next day type sale. It's a vodcast, exactly. And then all of a sudden Bill McCovern comes out of nowhere with a thing. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight. This was a fascinating discussion. I'm sorry if some people were disappointed by me saying I don't want to interview that person, but hey, I'm just going to be honest with you, and that's all you can ever expect from me. I love you all. And yeah. Everybody have a great night, and I'll see you Friday. Keep digging. Brother!